guys, welcome to my channel. Please don't forget to subscribe and share. And also, please don't forget to like. It would surely help our channel. Happy reading!
I heard marrying a eunuch meant no kids, so I said yes without thinking twice. The moment the imperial decree dropped, my dad straight up passed out. My mom was sobbing her eyes out, and my dear sister, she covered her mouth, hiding this smug little grin. And me, Shenjue, I almost burst out laughing right then and there. I was being married off to the 9,000-year lord, the guy who supposedly had the whole court in his pocket, the boogeyman parents used to scare their kids. A eunuch. The head eunuch, no less. Supposedly broken, no heirs, nothing. Honestly, best news I'd heard all year. The messenger eunuch pinched his voice and read the imperial decree out loud, start to finish. The legitimate daughter of the Shen family, Shenjue, shall be wed forthwith. My dad's eyes rolled back and he hit the floor. The whole hall erupted into chaos. My mom threw herself over my dad, wailing like her world was ending. Meanwhile, my half-sister Shen Qingqing was fake crying father while shooting me the most poisonous look imaginable. She was jealous. Jealous that I held the title of legitimate daughter. Even if I was being married to a eunuch, it was still a marriage ordained by the emperor. I'd be a proper wife. And her? She was being shipped off as a concubine to some old geezer on his last legs. But what she didn't know was, I was internally throwing a party. No kids. God, she had no idea how terrified I was of childbirth. My mom almost didn't make it when she had my little brother. It was a difficult labor. Those screams, the kind that tear right through you, they still haunt my nightmares. From that day on, I swore, no way am I ever doing that. And now, marrying a eunuch? Problem solved at the source. Honestly, perfect. I accepted the imperial decree from the messenger with both hands, all poised and respectful, face locked into my best devastated expression. Thank you for delivering the news. Being wed to the 9,000-year lord is truly the greatest blessing. Inside, I was nodding like a bobblehead. Yes, greatest blessing, sure. On the outside, though, I choked up. Thank you, sir. After seeing the messenger out, my mom's crying kicked into overdrive. She grabbed my hands, eyes drowning in tears. My poor daughter. How could you marry someone like that? A eunuch? You've brought shame to the entire Shen family. I looked down. Shame? Compared to dying in a bed screaming during childbirth, a little shame is nothing. Shen Qingqing swooped in to stir the pot. Little sister, what are you going to do? Stuck with a useless man, no one to rely on for the rest of your life. The smugness was practically dripping off her. I looked up, totally unbothered. Sister, maybe worry about yourself. Didn't I hear Lord Wang is 68 years old? Once you marry in, you better take good care of him. Shen Qingqing's face went full beet red. I couldn't be bothered with any of them anymore. I tucked the decree under my arm and headed back to my courtyard. Okay, so I'd be the 9,000-year lord's wife. Powerful, untouchable, and nobody could force me to have kids. This was literally living the dream. The wedding date was set fast, 3 days out. The whole Shen household was doom and gloom. My courtyard, though, totally chill. I ate, I drank, I relaxed, I even put on 2 pounds before the wedding. On the wedding day, my mom held me and nearly fainted from crying. My dad stood there stone-faced like I wasn't going to a wedding but a funeral. Shen Qingqing stood in the back of the crowd. That venomous stare of hers could have burned a hole right through my wedding veil. I sat in the bridal sedan, cool as a cucumber, even peeked out through the curtain. The procession was long. The whole setup was seriously impressive. Say what you want, the 9,000-year lord had clout. We were escorted all the way into his estate. The whole time, my groom, Pei Xuan, never showed up. The stand-in for the wedding bow? A rooster. The guests were whispering all around me, eyeing me with a mix of pity and disgust. I pretended not to notice. As long as nobody was making me pop out a kid, I'd bow to a rooster, a dog, whatever. No complaints. After the ceremony, I was escorted to the bridal chamber. Just me, alone in the room. I was getting a little hungry. I yanked off my veil and made a beeline for the table. It was covered in pastries and fruit. I grabbed an osmanthus cake and shoved it in my mouth. So good. I was really getting into it when the door creaked open. Someone pushed it open. I still had half a cake in my mouth. A man in red wedding robes stood in the doorway, backlit. Tall, broad shoulders, long legs. The whole silhouette was just imposing. The red robes on him somehow made him look less festive and more like a walking threat. He stepped inside. The candlelight caught his face. That face. Drop-dead gorgeous, just way too pale. So this was Pei Xuan, the supposedly terrifying, ruthless 9,000-year lord in the flesh. Okay, gotta say, dude looked way better than the rumors gave him credit for. He walked over and his gaze landed on my puffed-up cheeks. I instinctively chewed twice and swallowed. A little awkward, not gonna lie. He carried this heavy metallic scent. Blood, cutting through the cold incense in the room. It created this strange, dangerous energy. I caught it immediately. He just killed someone. My stomach dropped. I scrambled to my feet. Husband! Pei Xuan didn't say a word. He just stood there, quietly looking at me, like he was reading every single thing about me. I felt my scalp crawl. Was this guy into some kind of messed up stuff? Like, did he have some weird thing for tormenting his new wife? I was still spiraling when he reached out toward my face, one cold finger gently brushing the corner of my mouth. I opened my eyes and met his gaze, searching, curious. He pulled his hand back. There was a tiny white crumb on his fingertip. He put it in his own mouth. I froze. He just ate a crumb off my face? What kind of move was that? Wasn't this guy supposed to be a cold-blooded killer? Wasn't he supposed to be this untouchable, high and mighty eunuch chief? This was just weird. Pei Xuan seemed almost amused by my reaction. He didn't push further, just turned, sat down at the table and poured himself a cup of wine. Sit, I sat across from him. Every muscle in my body was wound tight. He took a slow sip of wine. His eyes never left me. Why did you agree to this marriage? Blunt, no setup, I couldn't exactly say. Because you're a eunuch and I don't want kids. I quick thought my way out of it. It was the Emperor's command. 4 words. Clean. Blame offloaded entirely. The Emperor's command. The Shen family raised quite the daughter. I couldn't tell if that was a compliment or a dig, so I just kept playing dumb. Silence. Dead silence. The only sound in the room was the candle crackling and the faint hum of a pipa outside. I was suffocating. I snuck a glance at him. He was slowly rotating the wine cup in his fingers. His fingers were long, knuckles sharp and defined, nails trimmed clean, immaculate, honestly. Hard to believe those same hands had just been covered in blood. What do you need, my lord? He pointed to the spot next to him. I hesitated, then shuffled over. The second I got close, the smell of blood hit harder. I fought through it and stood next to him. Then suddenly he reached out and yanked me right into his lap. I yelped, fell right onto his legs. I went completely stiff. I was frozen solid. What is happening right now? Aren't eunuchs supposed to want nothing to do with women? What was he trying to pull? His arm locked around my waist like an iron vice. Then his voice came right next to my ear. Low, absolute, no room for argument. I stopped moving immediately. His chin rested in the curve of my shoulder. His breath hit my neck, a warm, steady, goosebumps everywhere. Every inch of my skin was standing on end. This wasn't the script. Had the rumors been wrong? Was he actually not a eunuch? No. The Emperor himself confirmed his title, but he didn't push further. He just sat there, holding me. After a long while, he finally said flatly, "Go to sleep." I felt like I'd just been let out of prison. I scrambled off him like my life depended on it. Sprinted to the bed, dove under the covers, and wrapped myself up like a burrito. I heard him stand up behind me, footsteps getting closer. He wasn't about to get in bed with me, was he? I felt the edge of the mattress dip. He sat down. I lay there, eyes shut, barely breathing. Then a hand reached under my covers. Oh no, he really did have some kind of weird thing going on. His palm was burning hot, totally different from those cold fingers earlier. I flinched hard. His fingers found my ankle and pressed down gently. A warm, tingly ache spread through my foot. He was giving me a foot massage. I cracked one eye open in disbelief and snuck a look at him. I was completely lost. One second he's the Grim Reaper. The next he's giving me a foot rub like some kind of attentive husband. What even was this guy? He massaged for a bit, then pulled his hand back. I heard him move to the outer room. Sounded like he lay down on the couch out there. I stayed in the bed, staring up at the canopy. Look, I didn't care what kind of person he was. As long as he didn't touch me and didn't make me have kids, he was fine in my book. Then something suddenly hit me. When he was holding me just now, I felt something. Something that absolutely should not exist on a eunuch. Something very firm. My sleepiness was gone, just like that.
Thank you for reading with me, everyone. Until the next chapter.